Alrighty, my friends, let's go ahead and make a review video for you. Mrs. Key. And we've got, given each function, fill in the table, then graph. So we got 3x plus 2. So we have to do 3 times negative 2 plus 2. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, plus 2 is negative 4. And then we have to do 3 times negative 1 plus 2. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, plus 2 is negative 1. Then we do 3 times 0 plus 2. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 3 times 1 plus 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Finally, 3 times 2 plus 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So negative 2, negative 4, negative 1, 0, 2, 1, 5, 2, 8. Connect the dots. Oh, part of it didn't show up. There we go. And that's my beautiful picture. And that's all I'm asked to do, so I did it. That's a linear function. That is where we're headed to determine whether things are linear or not. So that is a linear function. Notice the pattern going up by 3 each time. So same idea here. We do 3 minus negative 2 squared. We got to do negative 2 squared first. So that's really 3 minus 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Then we do 3 minus negative 1 squared. Negative 1 squared is 1, so it's 3 minus 1, which is 2. 3 minus 0 squared. 0 squared is 0, so that's 3 minus 0, which is 3. And then 3 minus 1 squared. 1 squared is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And lastly, 3 minus 2 squared. So 2 squared is 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Forgot to put that. There we go. So negative 2, negative 1. Negative 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 2, 2, negative 1. Ooh, it makes this little boop, boop. It's called a parabola, which isn't surprising because that is a quadratic. That one's nonlinear. See how we're going up by 3 and then up by 1 and then down by 1 and then down by 3? That's not linear. That is quadratic, but that's not linear. See, I told you, we were looking for the linear versus nonlinear. Take a look at this. Notice how the x values are going up by 1 each time. And these ones are going up by 2 each time. So this is going to be a linear function. And what you should write down, I'm not going to write it down for you, but what you should write down is as x goes up by 1, y is going up by 2 each time. That represents a linear function because we are adding the same number each time. Which of the following equations below represent linear functions? That one is linear and that one is linear. Again, what you need to write down, I'm not going to write it down, I'm going to say it. What you need to write down is that a linear function has an x to the 1, not an x squared. It also does not have an x on the denominator. The only elements of a linear function that are allowed for us are we have the x term and then a constant term, and that makes those equations linear. If you have a quadratic, if you have a fraction, those ones are not linear. So you have to put that in words, in your words. Last page, find the slope. I'm going to show you, I'll go with 2 different ways to find the slope. First is just look at the picture. That's down 1 and right 3. So the slope is negative 1/3. Another way to think about it is look at the y values. So negative 3 minus negative 2, and then 2 minus negative 1. Negative 3 minus negative 2 is negative 1, because that's the same thing as saying negative 3 plus 2. 2 minus negative 1 is the same thing as saying 2 plus 1, which is 3, so negative 1/3 is the slope. You can do it using the graph. You can do it using your slope formula that you may have learned. It is up to you. And then slope-intercept. So note the y-intercept. So y-intercept, 0, negative 1. When I plug in 0 for x, 2/3 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is negative 1. That's where we start. And then the slope, that's the number here, which is 2/3. and that means up to right 3. Up to right 3, connect the dots. That's all you need to do for that problem. So you identify the y-intercept. That's what happens when you plug in 0. And then the slope is that number in front of your x. And that slope is represented, it says 2/3, so that means go up 2 and right 3. My suggestion is always let the number on top tell you whether to go up or down. Positive means up, negative means down. And then the number on the bottom tells you to go right. If you have questions, as always, let us